Birds of Prey, number 2, written by Dwayne Swierczynski, art by Jesus Saiz. Left off last issue with Ev and Dinah escorting some dude, some journalist, to an airport to get away from trouble, and then he blows up. It picks up in Japan immediately. There's a woman, Katana, skip to the chase, it's Katana. She uses her katana to kill a bunch of people who apparently found her for something, and she's like, well, my love, my dear, talking to her sword, I've taken your advice and we're going to Gotham. And then we pick up with the explosion again. Black Canary is narrating, and she's like, all right, so this dude just exploded. This is an ultra-secure terminal meant for, like, celebrities and politicians, so that shouldn't be happening. But hey, here we are. Starling, Ev, wants to get the hell out of there. Black Canary is like, no, we need some evidence first. Can you make a distraction? And she's like, you got 10 seconds. And apparently it's a whole thing that, like, it will take exactly 10 seconds. It's just a fun little thing to do with the panels. So Black Canary runs over, picks up just a piece of the dude and puts it in, like, a carry-out box. One woman sees her and is like, hey, you shouldn't touch that. What are you doing? And then we never see her again, so I don't even know what the purpose of her was. But in the meantime, Starling is stealing one of those, like, little golf cart things that the security drives around in airports. Steals one of those. They both drive off and crash through a window onto the tarmac to get away. As they're getting away, though, one of the invisible dudes from the last issue says that the test was complete and both the superhero girls are leaving the area. So they're clearly in on it. 3 days later, we're at the funeral of the guy. Starling is there picking up some intel, pretending that she knew him more intimately than she did. And apparently he just got a bunch of headaches, and that was the only hint they have to go off of. They sampled the piece of him they put in that takeout box, and apparently there were 3 different trace elements that 2 of them were explosives. So they're looking into just where the explosives came from right now. As they're in a place, they're talking about how they need a base of operations, and then who shows up but Katana. And Black Canary is like, okay, so you're going to help us? You're going to join us? And she's like, no, I don't want to join you, but my husband says I should. And as she's doing this, she's, looking at her sword. Starling just thinks, okay, she's a little bit cuckoo. But then Black Canary speaks Japanese, can make out what she's saying, and realizes, oh yeah, she thinks her sword is her husband. Yeah, she's definitely crazy, but I'm not going to tell Starling that because that's just a bit too much. Meanwhile, Starling gets a call about the 3rd trace element and what it is. Sends Black Canary to pick up the intel, and it's this whole thing about how it's a cute scientific researcher and how Starling's trying to set up Black Canary with them. Okay. So, anyway, apparently it's a drug for a stroke. Like it's a treatment for stroke patients or something like that. So it's a neurochemical, and all the places that have been storing it have been broken into in the past few weeks, except for one. So where do they go? The one that hasn't been broken into. They get in there, they're looking around, and they realize that the invisible guys from before are also here. Fight breaks out. Katana's just killing them straight up, stabbing them through the chest and whatever. Canary shows off her canary cry. Katana's impressed. And they hint for a second at what Starling's powers are, because we have yet to really see them. And all they say in the thing here is, we're going to have to get used to each other's quirks, I suppose, especially Ev's, which are Legion, ... I'm assuming, like, Legion of Superheroes, but I don't think that Black Canary would know about that, so I don't actually know what they're talking about. I suppose we'll see moving forward. Anyway, they have themselves a hostage of one of the invisible guys, and they're going to do some good old interrogation. And as they step outside into this garden area in back, who else but Poison Ivy is there waiting, saying how she's happy that they brought her friends a little snack. The plants. She's talking about the plants. And as Katana and Starling are straight up ready to murder her because I guess she's some sort of Yeah, I mean, she's a psychopath, but, worse than they are. Black Canary makes it clear that she also invited Poison Ivy, and she wants to know, is this a yes to joining their team? End of issue. It's fine. I don't have any strong opinions on it either way, really, which almost is worse than having a strong opinion negatively, because it's just so okay, I guess. If I have like one major art critique, it's the sequence where they're getting away on the golf cart. Black Canary doesn't get away. Like, it's everywhere in the art here. She puts the key in the ignition. She drives away. She finishes her countdown. You see her driving down the hallway without Black Canary in sight anywhere. Not on the golf cart, not anywhere. And then all of a sudden, in the next panel, as they're crashing through the window, Black Canary is on the golf cart. So I think that's just a 2-page long screw up that nobody bothered to fix. As for everything else, I mean, okay, Katana, I guess. It's nothing in here is grabbing me, really. Like, okay, there's a drug that can make people explode. Yes, that should be grabbing me. But this particular issue doesn't further anything, Like, all we've discovered is, it's hidden in some sort of stroke treatment. Fine. I'm still not that intrigued. For fans of Poison Ivy, I'm sure this is great, because you're getting a tease of her, but she hasn't even done anything yet. So, now overall, I'm giving this a 4.5. The only reason it's under 5 is just because I do think they managed to screw up the art for a full page, which is completely unacceptable, honestly. So yeah, now I know we're still building the team. I know I shouldn't be expecting that much because this is literally just the team building stuff. But for right now, it's just like, I guess Birds of Prey, fine.